Alex stepped out of the underground shelter, blinking against the harsh sunlight. The once vibrant city was now a skeletal ruin, buildings reduced to rubble, and the air heavy with dust. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the chaos and noise of war that had been their constant companion for years. As Alex walked through the desolate streets, he saw a few survivors cautiously emerging from their hiding places. They exchanged weary glances, silently acknowledging the shared pain and loss. Among them was Mr. Thompson, the elderly shopkeeper, who gave Alex a nod and a faint, hopeful smile. Alex's mind wandered to his family. He had lost contact with them during the final days of the war and had no idea if they were alive. Determined to find out, he made his way to the old neighborhood. The streets were almost unrecognizable, with debris scattered everywhere and familiar landmarks destroyed. In the midst of the wreckage, Alex found his old house, or what was left of it. The roof had collapsed and walls were crumbling, but he had to see if there was any trace of his family. As he sifted through the ruins, he came across a photo album miraculously untouched. Flipping through the pages, he saw images of happier times, family vacations, birthdays, and holidays. The memories brought a mix of comfort and sorrow. While Alex was lost in thought, he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw Mia, a volunteer he had met during the early days of the conflict. Her face lit up when she recognized him. "Alex! I can't believe you're alive!" she exclaimed, rushing to embrace him. "Mia, it's good to see you," Alex replied, his voice thick with emotion. "Have you heard anything about my family?" Mia shook her head. "I'm sorry, I haven't. But we've set up a relief center nearby. Maybe someone there has information." Hope sparked in Alex's chest. "Let's go." The relief center was buzzing with activity. Volunteers distributed food and medical supplies, while others helped survivors search for missing loved ones. Mia introduced Alex to some of the coordinators, who promised to help him in any way they could. As the day turned into evening, Alex and Mia found a quiet corner to rest. They talked about the past, the war, and the uncertain future. Despite the devastation around them, there was a glimmer of hope. The war was over, and now it was time to rebuild, not just their city, but their lives. As they sat under the stars, Alex felt a sense of determination growing within him. The road ahead would be tough, but they had survived the worst. Together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Days turned into weeks as the community came together to rebuild their shattered town. The relief center became a hub of activity, filled with the sounds of hammers, saws, and the hopeful chatter of survivors. Alex threw himself into the work, finding solace in the physical labor and the sense of purpose it brought. One morning, as Alex was repairing a collapsed wall, he heard a familiar voice behind him. "Need a hand?" He turned to see Mia, her face smeared with dirt but her eyes bright with determination. They had developed a rhythm, working side by side, sharing stories and encouraging each other. Despite the grim circumstances, moments of laughter and camaraderie lightened the burden. "Always," Alex replied with a grin. "How's the supply run going?" Mia sighed, wiping sweat from her forehead. "It's getting tougher. We need to find new sources soon, but people are pulling together. We'll manage." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of an old friend, Jake, who had been a mechanic before the war. He approached with a broad smile and a piece of scrap metal in his hand. "Guess what I found? A generator. It's in rough shape, but I think I can get it working. It might help us get some power back." The news spread quickly, and soon a small group gathered around Jake, eager to assist. The prospect of having electricity, even in a limited capacity, was a beacon of hope. It reminded everyone of the life they once had and the life they could rebuild. Amidst the reconstruction efforts, Alex and Mia grew closer. They spent their evenings talking about their dreams and fears, sharing their hopes for the future. Mia's optimism was contagious, and Alex found himself beginning to believe that they could truly create a new beginning. One afternoon, while sorting through the debris of an old community center, they stumbled upon a stack of musical instruments. Dusty and slightly damaged, the instruments were a poignant reminder of the culture and joy that once filled the town. Mia picked up a battered guitar and strummed a few chords. "Do you remember the music festivals we used to have here?" she asked, her voice tinged with nostalgia. Alex nodded. "Yeah, those were good times. Maybe we can have one again someday." Mia smiled, a spark of determination in her eyes. "Not someday? How about tonight? Let's have a small gathering. We all need a little bit of normalcy, even if it's just for a few hours." Word spread quickly, and by evening a small crowd had gathered in the remains of the community center. People brought whatever they could: food, drinks, and even a few more instruments. As the sun set, the makeshift band began to play, filling the air with music for the first time in months. For a few hours, the war seemed like a distant memory. People sang, danced, and laughed, finding comfort in each other's company. It was a small victory, but a significant one. It reminded everyone that even in the darkest times, there is light to be found. As the night wore on, Alex looked around at the smiling faces and felt a renewed sense of hope. They had a long way to go, but they were not alone. Together they could rebuild their world, one brick, one song, and one moment at a time. As the town's physical reconstruction progressed, it became clear that emotional scars were not as easily mended. The war had left deep psychological wounds that many struggled to confront. Alex, in particular, found himself grappling with intense nightmares and flashbacks, remnants of his time on the battlefield. One morning, as he tried to shake off the remnants of a particularly harrowing dream, Mia approached him with a concerned look. She had noticed his increasingly withdrawn behavior and wanted to help. "Alex, you've been different lately. Are you okay?" she asked gently. Alex hesitated, his pride clashing with his need for support. Finally, he sighed. "I keep seeing their faces, Mia. The people I couldn't save, the things I had to do. It's like I'm still there every night." Mia's eyes softened with empathy. "You're not alone in this. A lot of us are dealing with the same thing. Maybe it's time we start talking about it together." Mia's suggestion led to the formation of a small support group. They began meeting in the evenings, sharing their stories and offering each other comfort. These sessions were raw and emotional, but they provided a much-needed outlet for the survivors' grief and guilt. One night, during a particularly intense session, Jake opened up about his own struggles. "I feel like I don't deserve to be here," he admitted, his voice breaking. "I survived when so many didn't. Why me?" The group fell silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Finally, Alex spoke up. "We all feel that way, Jake, but we're here for a reason. Maybe it's to rebuild, to honor those we lost by creating something better." Mia nodded in agreement. "We can't change the past, but we can shape the future, and we need each other to do that." Their discussions often revealed the hidden wounds that everyone carried. It wasn't just the soldiers who struggled. Civilians who had endured bombings, loss, and displacement faced their own demons. The group became a lifeline, helping them navigate their pain and begin the long journey toward healing. Meanwhile, the town continued to show signs of revival. The generator Jake had repaired provided electricity to a few key buildings, allowing for longer working hours and a sense of normalcy. The community center, now a focal point for social gatherings, hosted regular events that brought people together, fostering a renewed sense of community spirit. Despite these positive developments, there were still moments of tension. The war had forced many to make difficult choices, and not everyone was ready to forgive or forget. Old grudges and new conflicts occasionally flared up, threatening to disrupt the fragile peace. During one such confrontation, Alex found himself stepping in to mediate between two men arguing over scarce resources. "We've all lost so much," he said, his voice firm but compassionate. "We need to work together if we're going to rebuild. Fighting each other won't bring back what we lost." His words struck a chord, and the men reluctantly agreed to a compromise. It was a small victory, but it underscored the importance of unity in their collective recovery. In the midst of these challenges, Mia became a pillar of strength for Alex. Her unwavering support and understanding helped him find ways to cope with his PTSD. She encouraged him to seek professional help, reminding him that asking for support was a sign of strength, not weakness. Gradually, Alex began to see a therapist, and while it was a difficult process, he started to feel a sense of relief. The nightmares didn't disappear overnight, but they became less frequent, and he found healthier ways to deal with his trauma. Through the combined efforts of therapy, the support group, and the community's resilience, the survivors began to heal, slowly but surely. They learned to accept their scars as part of their journey, a testament to their strength and determination. As the town moved forward, the people found solace in the knowledge that they were not alone.
Together they faced their demons, rebuilt their lives, and found a renewed sense of hope for the future. Months passed, and the town began to take on a new life. Buildings that had once been piles of rubble were now standing tall, thanks to the tireless efforts of the community. Gardens flourished where there had been only barren earth, and laughter once again echoed through the streets. Alex and Mia, now inseparable partners in both work and life, stood together in the town square, watching the final touches being added to a memorial that had been constructed to honor those lost in the war. It was a simple yet powerful tribute, a stone monument engraved with the names of the fallen and a dedication to the resilience of the survivors. As they stood there, a crowd gathered, and the air was filled with a quiet reverence. The mayor stepped forward to address the townspeople, his voice steady and full of emotion. "Today, we honor the memories of those we lost, and we celebrate the strength of those who survived. This memorial is not just a reminder of our past, but a beacon of hope for our future. We have faced unimaginable hardships, but together we have rebuilt and will continue to thrive." The crowd erupted into applause, and Alex felt a sense of pride and unity. The memorial symbolized their journey, a collective testament to their determination and spirit. In the weeks following the dedication, the town's transformation continued. The generator provided consistent power, enabling new businesses to open and schools to resume. Children played in the parks, their laughter a sign of the town's renewal. Community events became a regular occurrence, strengthening the bonds between neighbors. One evening, as the sun set, Alex and Mia sat on a bench overlooking the town. The sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, and the air was filled with the sounds of life returning to normal. "I never thought we'd get here," Alex said, his voice soft with wonder. "It's like a dream." Mia smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "We did it together, Alex, every step of the way, and we'll keep moving forward, no matter what." Their relationship had grown deeper through their shared experiences, and their love was a source of strength for both of them. They talked about their plans for the future, dreams that seemed distant during the war, but were now within reach. Alex had begun to think about starting a family, a thought that filled him with both excitement and hope. As the town continued to rebuild, it also became a place where people from other devastated areas sought refuge and a fresh start. The influx of new faces brought fresh ideas and energy, further fueling the town's revival. Alex and Mia welcomed the newcomers, offering guidance and support to help them integrate into the community. The support group that had been such a lifeline during the toughest times evolved into a community organization dedicated to mental health and well-being. They organized workshops, provided counseling, and created safe spaces for people to share their struggles and triumphs. Alex, having found strength in his own journey, became a mentor, helping others navigate their paths to healing. On the first anniversary of the war's end, the town held a festival. It was a day of remembrance and celebration, filled with music, food, and joy. The memorial stood at the heart of the festivities, a poignant reminder of the past and a symbol of their collective strength. As the festival drew to a close, Alex took the stage to speak. He looked out at the faces of his friends, neighbors, and new residents, his heart swelling with gratitude and pride. "We have come so far," he began, his voice steady and clear. "We have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger. This town is a testament to what we can achieve when we stand together. Let us honor the past, live fully in the present, and look forward to a future filled with hope and possibility." The crowd erupted into cheers, and Alex felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The war had left indelible marks, but it had also forged unbreakable bonds and a community that would endure and thrive. As he stepped down from the stage, Mia joined him, slipping her hand into his. They stood together, watching the fireworks light up the night sky, a brilliant display of color and light that mirrored their journey. The future was theirs to shape, and with the strength and resilience they had found in each other and their community, they knew they could face anything that lay ahead. Subscribe to watch more amazing sci-fi stories.